Next.
What's going to
The
be our
business.
topic?
The business side.
The
The
beauty.
business
Oh, the
side.
business, yeah.
The business
beauty.
side.
Yeah.
Business and business. Okay, business and business.
Okay.
Well, you know,
Okay, go
we
ahead.
all know that your business is successful. And what makes you actually, and you're passionate about it, obviously, right? What makes your success as big as yours? Think parang that fueled it.
Well, I think I was the first. You know, I think before me, I'm a dermatologist by training, but basically I decided early on that I would concentrate on beauty. And the reason I'm concentrating on beauty is because I'm an adopted kid, and when I was young, I think I was told when I was 5 by my classmates that the reason I was given away by my parents, and because they knew I was adopted, is because I was ugly and fat. And that seemed to make such an impact in my mind. You know, it's like, I didn't, you know, my parents were late picking me up, my adopted parents. And they said, oh, they forgot you already because you're only adopted. And you know, and then you go, why did they give you away anyways? Because you're so ugly. And then the other kid said, oh, I know why, it's because you're so fat. So in my head at that time at 5, it was already very embedded that if you're ugly and fat, people don't love you as much. So I really made it, even at 5, I made a decision that I'm going to make people beautiful so that everybody will love them and they won't be given away. That is my, and it
So
just
no one
went
should
with me.
be, yeah, no one should be
So
fat.
no, and then
one
once
should
I
be
got
ugly.
through, I think as I got through school, I'd see what an advantage it was to be good looking. That they got all the breaks, you know, the people that were prettier, people who were handsomer. So I'd see that in high school, the girls who got the dates, they were not particularly nice. In fact, they're conceited, but because they had good genes and they were born pretty, they got the dates. And then I had friends who were very nice, very smart, and very kind, but because they were not pretty, they always ended up at home. And I was right in the middle, you know, not particularly pretty nor particularly ugly, so it was just like, I was just an observing person. And then when I got to UP, I did a course in BS Psychology. And my studies were all about how looks affect people's lives and how early does it take an effect. So for example, I copied a study from Harvard. I had read this book, The Survival of the Prettiest. So they were saying things like, you know, if it was survival of the fittest in a caveman days, in this modern age, it's really the survival of the prettiest. Because the pretty ones, you know, first impressions count, and you don't get another chance to do that. And basically we are, what was it he said about Joey Marquez? I think Melanie Marquez said something like, he's not a book, but the basically is, you get judged, a book gets, and I buy books based on the cover and the back cover, right? I read the back, I read the front, it looks interesting, then I buy it. So I said, so when does this whole bias begin? So I had 3-month-old babies, they were in their cribs, and then we had people look over the crib, and we had already prejudged these people on a level of 1 to 10 as to who was good looking, who was not. And with the people who are highest on the scale, the babies would really look longer. And if the person was kind of a 5 or a 4, the babies would look and turn away. So it's an instinct. And really that's why beauty is its own reason for being. So I said, And then at 5, I went to preschool children. I did all these papers. I actually got really good grades for that. But, you know, it was more from my research, my wanting to see, you know, how important what I was getting into would be. And 5-year-old kids, you know, we got like 30 photographs, and we rated them again from 1 to 10 based on good looks. And then we gave them to the children, and we said, can you describe the people in the picture? And when they were good looking, right away, all the good attributes were there. She's kind. They never met these people, right? She's kind, she's honest, she's caring, she's sweet. And when they were ugly, mean, liar,
Scary.
you know, scary. So I said, this is such an unfair world. So actually people think that I do what I do because I promote vanity, when actually all I'm trying to do is level the playing field so that beauty no longer becomes, you know, an issue or anything that people, I mean, if everybody was good looking, then everything would be equal.
Equal, yeah, that's
And
correct.
then you would be judged again by your intelligence or how
Some
hard you
other
work
stuff,
or
yeah.
something, you know. So that's basically where I'm coming from. And then as I saw my practice, I see how big, you know, you go to psychologists for years trying to work out an issue, when actually, just by making them over in like a month, they have so much more self-confidence. They're just happier people. I said, this is the easiest way to make a difference in a person's lives, or at least for my life to matter. So that's really where
Doctora, there are a lot of people, you have a lot of people, like people in the US, they're trying to contact you. Is there a contact number you can give us?
Well, we have a website, info@bellomed.com.
Okay.
We're on Twitter. I know Bello Beauty something. I mean, we're trying to be as accessible as possible. I guess the best way to contact, to be sure you're really going to get through, is to do a long distance call on 819-BELLO, 632-819-BELLO. Because then at least you would really be talking, we have a call center, our own, and then you would be talking to someone, and then they would be able to make your appointment. Because you know, it's always a battle with me and my technical, my computer people, because I always get complaints from patients who say they've tried and they don't get responses. And then I see other people who say are responsive, we're so responsive. So I'm like, I'm so confused, and I'm not a techie person, so I'm always talking to my technical support people and going, what's going on? And then they always say, give us the names, because sometimes you answer or there's some glitch and it didn't go through or something, you know. So I think the best way to reach us is really to just call us, because anyway, just more magic jack and free. It's so cheap naman. So at least you're talking to a person, and then the computer's in front of them, and you know, they're in touch with all the branches already. It's one centralized unit. So let's say when you go there, you live in Cavite, so it's better to go to Alabang, or maybe you live in Quezon City, so it's better to go to Trinoma or Marathon, because they would have the whole page there, and then they could, you know, and then really give you advice verbally.
Doctora, do you still have your clinic here in the U.S.?
No, I closed it. I opened it in 2000. I closed it within 10 months because I realized it was a mistake. I'm one of these people. No, I opened the clinic there because my son went to USC to study and take an MBA. So I figured, well, since I'm going to be visiting the States a lot to see him, might as well have a clinic. But then I didn't realize how much work it was going to be for me to have a clinic in the States, because I usually come to the States to relax, to shop, and to take some R&R. I stay for about 4 or 5 days, and then I go home again, and then I work. So what was happening is I'd stay here for a week. I'd see so many patients. I'd go home, and I didn't get a vacation. I'd see patients there, and I was like, this is aging me so quickly. And for me, I mean, it's not the money anymore at this point in my life. It's quality of life. So I said, I want to close it. And the reason I wanted to close it before it was 1 year, I don't know, I had it in my head that if I closed it before it's 1 year, people, because I knew people would say, oh, it probably failed, you know, people probably didn't go. Well, I assure you that wasn't the truth. It was just like, if I close before a year, then they'll know it can't because it failed, because nobody fails at one. I mean, you should keep it going for at least 2 years before you say I failed. But I said, if I close before 1 year, then they'll know it's not because I failed, it's because
it's not a business
there must be another reason. But it didn't work.
Pero
Actually, I'm still being intrigued that it failed.
Considering the kind of the business and how busy you are, I can see your passion for the Filipino Americans. Do you have any messages sa ating mga kababayan?
Yeah, well, I'm here for this adobo festival because Derek is our endorser and we have a booth.
Okay.
But I think more than anything, I just want to thank all of you, because our country is surviving because of you. Basically, it's your remittances, and it's what's keeping us afloat, because, you know, there's really, when I look around, our exports are kind of expensive, you know, really exporting people, and you guys are sending money back, and thank you for not forgetting us. Thank you for always, you know, I mean, I know life is hard here now, and still the remittances are high, which is the one trait I love about Filipinos. They still care about their family back home. And the message is, I guess, when you come to Manila, please come and see Bello so that we can pamper you naman. Because there's really no place like home. And we don't, you know, in terms of Filipino skin and Filipino faces, I always say that, you know, Asian faces are very different. Asian skin is very different from what they have here. And so you should really give it to someone who's had a lot of experience with that kind of skin. Because otherwise, you know, we see a lot of problems when they do things here that are not bagay to colored skin.
You know, Doctora, the truth of the matter is that whenever Filipinas, even Filipinos, you know, when they go to Manila and then they come back and they look good, the joke It's not really a
Nagpabelo ka,
joke.
no?
Yeah.
Nagpabelo ka, no?
Yeah, no.
But anyway,
That has become kind of like an adjective.
Yeah.
it is like connected.
It's
You
like
know,
a
it has
jingle.
always been connected. Nagpabelo ka.
Yeah.
Well, we're very proud because people come and they feel like we're better than
Yeah.
the clinics they see here. So,
Uh-huh.
diba? But kasi I've always wanted, I think the Filipinos really good.
Ah, okay.
But I cannot influence other industries because
Yeah.
I only know
Uh-huh.
mine.
Yeah.
But at least within my industry, I think we're at par, even better.
Uh-huh.
Because what I try to do is bring everything from around the world. You know, the Americans are kind of egotistical. They won't learn from the Europeans and vice versa.
Mhm.
So I travel to Europe, I travel to the States, and I see what's good, bring it back.
Yeah.
Then I also go to Brazil, Japan. I do a lot in Russia.
Uh-huh.
So those things, I mean, those people don't naman have the tiyaga to travel everywhere and bring it back. But
Mhm.
kasi kung dito ka sa States, you only really see US technology.
Yeah.
Right.
And so sometimes, of course, everybody has something to contribute. The
Oh, yeah.
Philippines naman, I know we're third world, so I don't, although I'm still trying to invent something
Yeah,
exciting.
There's other
malapit na.
technologies in Europe and South America.
Well, Attorney, congratulations.
Thank you.
You're doing
Thank
so
you.
much to help our people as
Thank
well.
you.
I know. Yeah.
Doktora, maraming nurses here, you know, night shift and work hard, lack of sleep. Big thing, eye bags.
I know, I was
Quickly.
looking at you guys. Everybody here, parang, oh my God. Well, you know, we are very proud in the Philippines. We are the only clinic that does eye bags with a laser. And the reason is, we do it with the laser is because it's bloodless. Recovery is much faster, and then we can actually do eye bags in less than 20 minutes. It's that easy, and there's no bandages or anything, and there's nothing that will make you look younger right away
Mhm.
than getting rid of your eye bags. Because eye bags, no matter how well you sleep, in the morning you still look like you're tired from not sleeping. Eye bags are usually done once in a lifetime, sometimes twice. I've done mine, you know, but of course, it's really easy. There are no bandages and there are no scars, so
And how long
Yeah.
is the recovery, doctor?
you know, for eye bags, it's really not much. The only thing I'd like to ask is for you guys not to take vitamin E before you come. Stop it already. You know, naman as nurses, surgical. Yeah, and avoid wine and what's aspirin. Then we can do you really quickly. And recovery time, you look like you just had an allergy. So most people just wear glasses like yours. And you know, they look like they just had an allergy. It's not.
Okay, okay.
Oh,
Thank you
so
so
for those
much.
hardworking nurses here in
Doktora.
America and all other hardworking people, get your eye bags done.
Easy, fast, and cheap. Because I
Okay.
think it's less than $1,000.
Okay.
And I think you said 5,000 or something. I don't
Good to know.
Good to know.
Thank you, thank you.
And
Thank
you're
you.
good.
Did, that's why we emailed.
Okay, you should do it already. You haven't done it.
Because it's popular surgery.
I think we have to go.
Let's laser lang. Okay,
Oh,
bye-bye. Oh, si
Derek,
Derek.
Ah, yes, si Derek na.
Ah,